I want to record a quick demo on how I use Ragdoll to set up and find the scale of a scene. Usually working with giants or with big characters could be something interesting. So here in the Ragdoll menu, we can go to this last option where you can see the versions and we can load these presets. So basically this preset comes already with the dynamic setup and the ground. So what I will propose is just to now we can just shift all this and maybe create one more. The good thing is that since these presets come already with some values, you can try. This is gonna help us to learn and to play with the plugin. So that was 3. This is 4. Okay. So now as you can see, we have what do we need to make maybe a giant to fall down, or how fast should we set everything up. So that's part one. Okay, part two. So what I'm gonna do now is just to use just one ground. This is the main ground that I'm gonna use from my dude number 4. So I'm gonna just find, you can find this joint, which is the plane. I just delete it. Find the marker. Then what you need to do is go inside the marker details in the channel box. And this one, now you just need to change the extension of this plane. Alright. So this geometry right now is not as a marker is just representation. Okay. And this is a very good exercise for you to start playing with values. For example, now when we go into the groups one by one, we can start setting how much stiffness we want to have on each body. You can play with the stiffness, for example, 0.2. So that's as simple as you can. This is as simple as you can do it. Okay. So again, go one by one, create your presets, play with the rotation stiffness, find the size or the speed that you need for your scene. Depends on the size of your character, and go from there. I'll continue with next one. Okay, continue this part 3. Basically what I did was create 5 cameras, 5 different cameras just to position something and showcase how to really quick use the sequencer to build some action based on the inertia or based on the gravity or the weight of any other character. So yeah, for that, I'll give you a quick tip. It's by using the attribute spreadsheet. I can actually access into the shape of the camera. I can manipulate the camera all at the same time from here. For example, I can just turn off the gate, turn on the gate at the same time, right? So I don't have to do it one by one. This is very handy. I use it a lot. Or for example, if I want to log the overscan value, use this space to find the attribute that you need to 1.3, for example, right? Or 1. Depends what you need. You're gonna use it more or less. But this is pretty handy though. Okay, so the idea is that with this, I'm gonna create shots. So I'm gonna say, okay, shot number 1. I'm gonna call it shot. Okay, so the idea is that with this, I'm gonna create shots. So I'm gonna say, okay, shot number 1. I'm gonna call it shot A, camera 1, and I want to have this from, let's say, frame 1 to frame 45. Create shot. Then you repeat the action, but select your camera 2, shot 2, call it shot B, and you can tell this, okay, you go from 46 to, let's make it rounded, let's do it real quick as a demo, to 90, then you can slide the shots here, and one more time, camera 3, shot C, 91, you can create double takes, but I would not recommend to create double text if you're going to use the Ragdoll markers unless you cache those. That would be my tip. Okay, this is C. Drag it here. More create shot for D131. As you can see, I'm keeping it very consistent just for the sake of this demo. Not that you have to do it this way. I'm just providing you with some basic steps so you can jump into Ragdoll Dynamics and start using it. It's a great tool. It's not only for simulations. I mean, you can create a lot of stuff based on the simulation. I would say that better. Oh, you see, I messed up his name, so it's shot E. There we go. So if I play here, I select the viewport where I want to play. You can max. And okay, very quick. That was it to create cameras. That's gonna help me to start playing around with this. Continue with the next one. Okay, let's continue. I'm gonna provide more information about what attributes you can use to control your scene, your Ragdoll. So again, let's remember the main group. It's the overall parameter that is going to control, let's say, the overall behavior of the market. So the lower, and this is when you can, this is where you can also turn it on or off. Depends. You see, right now it's off. Ragdoll has to go to the first frame. It doesn't have to be 0. It's the first frame of the time editor. So I'm going to set it to 1 here. That's my first frame. And from here, let's say you want to have this really loosen, really ragdoll style. The lower the stiffness, the more jelly is gonna be. Okay, what else? The lower the damping, like the bounces are gonna last. It's gonna be even more jelly. If I do higher damping than the stiffness, what it's gonna do is gonna try to preserve. It's gonna try to preserve the pose as much as possible. So it's gonna give it more resistance, let's say. I think this is much better. So that's what you need to learn. I mean, you want to have like a really quick reactions, lower the stiffness, and if it's jittering too much, if it's kind of bouncing and doing too much loosen, so bring the damping a little bit up. That's what's going to do the trick. Okay. I think that will be one. B, the next attribute that you should learn to control, it's the solver. So you need to find the solver. This is the solver. The solver controls all these guys. Everything is tied to this single solver. So let's start by sub steps. The more sub steps, you're gonna have like a more let's say more precise simulation on the context and the bounces, especially when the markers are interacting each other. That's where this is gonna help. And the gravity, well, the value that you can play with also, right? You can animate these values, which is great. Because let's say you want to hold this pose for longer, so you can have gravity 0. Gravity 0. In 3 frames, let's say, we can go back to something like this. So, okay, so that's important to know how to control it. These are the attributes that it's going to allow you to art direct your shots or control whatever it is that you need. And same thing, you can, by just animating those attributes, you can do really cool stuff. For example, you can stop the character by using air density, or you can also turn off again the gravity. So let's play around this when these guys are falling here. Let's see. Keyframe. I'm going to set this air density to 10 to just play with the results. That's how I learned Ragdoll. Pretty much this is a pretty fantastic plugin. My advice will be just play around with the values bring a scene that you just want to play with, and just give it a go, Just play with the values, play with the different sizes. Now we can see how this part is kind of sliding, slowing down everything because I changed the air density. So that's a good tip. And how about if we stop the gravity? Well, everything's gonna stop. Let's see. There you go. That's nice. How about let's play around? I mean, I'm 100% improvising this demo. Uh, I just wanna put something out for everybody. So now let's improvise. Let's overshoot. Let's start applying what we know about animation. Okay, let's overshoot the gravity value. So let's make it positive and then let it bounce again and bring the air, air density down. Huh. You see now we have this nice effect of make a linear and let's make it pump. Right? Pump and one more time going down. You can do bouncing characters in a cabin. That's kind of the type of games that I like to play with this plugin again. Highly recommended if you want to learn it. Okay, now is it if it is still too slow, then just need to check your curve with the of the air density and bring it back to 1. Okay, and then this is one more time where you can check your actions. Okay, those two values, that idea, use use Ragdoll as a tool to log and create your basic feeling of the scene. Play with the stiffness, play with the gravity, play with the air density, and that's gonna give you nice result for now. Thank you. Cheers.